All right, welcome back. So if you saw episode A or B, you know that I'm doing a whole bunch of abstract paintings today. Just a few minutes ago, I started drizzling some hot glue on one of my canvases, thinking that I was using it primarily as a mask. And then all of a sudden, I got turned around going in another direction, but decided to save it for another canvas. So this is the other canvas. So here's what I'm going to do. This painting is going to be a study in white and off-white. So I'm going to let this dry for a few minutes. I'm going to set it aside. I'll let that harden. And I'll start another painting. I guess I'll do my blue one. So I took several of these boards. And by the way, I don't know if you heard me say, these are for sale today. To bid on one, you go to my Facebook page. Got it? Dan Nelson Facebook /Dan Nelson Art. No. Don't listen to what I say. Don't listen to a word that guy says. Here it is. Facebook /Dan the Art Man. That is correct. Okay. And if you buy one, you get a completely free abstract painting on the back. Side B, so to speak. These are paintings I did last year that never sold. So rather than go out and spend a whole bunch more money buying more gator board, I just decided to use the back side of these. So you get two paintings for the price of one. What good is two paintings? Well, some of you could buy a frame, for instance, like this one. You could buy a frame like this and put it in the frame one way, and then for part of the year, you take the painting out of the back and put it back in to show the other side. Does that make sense? So you really can use two paintings. I would think, like for winter time or something, you would want to use one color of paint, one tonal painting, and then maybe summertime the other. That's just a thought. Take it for what it's worth. Now, let me think about this blue on blue. I think I'm going to pick up some ultramarine paint, which is this exact color, and some white paint. Okay, composition. What do I want to do here? Group mass. I'm looking at Edgar Payne's. Here, let me show you what I'm looking at. There's an outline right here. See this piece of paper? Let me help you again a little bit. There you go. So I'm actually looking at this and trying to decide, pick one that I haven't done yet. The pyramid or triangle, and also the cross. Which one of those appeals to me more? Well, let's see. Let's go back to the blue canvas and think about it just for a minute. Can I zoom you out a little bit? There you go. Sorry about that bad reflection. Okay, either a triangle or a cross. I'm going to say triangle because I've done things today that are more cross-like, not so much triangle-ish or pyramid-ish. So let's just start with something. Now, as cool as that looks, maybe you don't think it looks cool. As cool as that might look to you, I'm not going to leave it that way. I'm going to come in here with some brushes and do some painting. And add some purple to this mix. Some of you, if you followed me a year ago, you might remember I did several sessions of abstract paintings fairly quickly, and but they were of a particular feel. They had a certain feel about them last year, and one of the things I definitely want to do, one of the things I definitely want to do this year is pursue a different feel. So that's why I'm using a different technique, a different approach. I'm doing a lot of pouring, as you can see. I think I'll be doing that, all day. Pouring a lot of stuff. Wow, that was a nice stroke. There we go. Okay. I'm going to, by the way, the reason I'm working in the garage is because I'm spread out all over here, and as you can see, I'm making quite the mess. I'm splattering paint on everything. So follow me while I take this painting out to the sunlight to dry. While I'm out here, I might see if one of my early paintings is ready for coat number 2. Really? Yeah. Wow. Is it an old nest, do you think?
Yeah, probably. There isn't any eggs or
Yeah. My grandchildren are out here playing. So you're getting a fun view of my garage. I love my garage. I don't want to hear any grief. As you can see, started this a while ago. I like a lot of where it's going. And I think I'm going to go ahead and continue with, instead of the aqua turquoise color that's here, I'm going to use the ultramarine that's still on my brushes from that last painting. This is, of course, is acrylic paint. Rinse off those brushes and try something else. Now, I've got all these toys behind me, all kinds of things that I haven't played with. How about some oil pastel? Yeah, that's it, Mr. Dan, oil pastel. Thank you. So this will give a scratchy look, of course, compared to everything else that's already on the canvas that has a liney, has a painty look. I mean, this now is liney. By the way, these circles I made by dipping things in paint and then sticking them on there, and then I used spray gesso on top of that. Continuing with the circle motif, almost a bubbly kind of thing, isn't it? There you go, big bubble. Big double bubble. Other color.
This is the nest.
Cool, Izzy.
It was bigger.
You're such the scientist, explorer. Izzy found a nest in a bush.
Climb up halfway.
Okay, I'm going to pick up again this can of spray gesso. Sorry for the noise. So it's a can of water-based spray paint, white spray gesso. You wouldn't normally want to use oil-based. Well, who knows, right? Who knows what might happen if you used oil-based on acrylic paints. Who knows what might happen besides it falling off. That would be the part that we don't want to have happen. Okay, enough of that for a while. I'm going to get some white paint on some brushes now and do some with some small brushes at that. Okay, I have paint tray, butcher's tray over here to my, ooh, wait a minute. I was going to start drawing circles, and drawing circles, and I thought better of it. Okay, enough of that. These would look a lot more like bubbles if they were all outlined in white rather than dark. So that's okay. I wasn't trying to make bubbles. It was an afterthought. It's like, oh, those look kind of like bubbles. Now it dawns on me they would look a lot more like this one. Looks a lot more like a bubble. It's at this point where quote-unquote abstract painting becomes slightly representational, right? It happens a lot. We start out doing something abstract and then end up, it reminds us of something. I'm not sure I want to pursue that course of action for much longer, but that was fun, so let me do a little bit more. See what happens if I do white on top of that dark outline. See what kind of effect we get. I mean, I'm sorry, it definitely looks like bubbles now. There's no escaping the implication. So somebody who loves aquariums should buy this painting. Do you hear that? You know somebody who loves aquariums? A tropical fish buff? Tell them to go to Facebook /Danny Artman and place a bid on this aquarium painting. Maybe I should put goldfish in it. Nah, I am not going to put goldfish in it. You know, I've noticed this one thing. Some of my favorite abstract painters who will now remain unnamed, I really like their abstract stuff, but every once in a while they do sort of an abstract style, tree or landscape or female figure or something like that in their slightly less abstract, and I almost always don't like those as well as I like their abstract. I'm talking about people who are kind of known for their abstract work. So like sort of what I'm doing here, except I'm certainly not known for my abstract work, but where I've let my abstraction, slip over into representational art. Like I said, there's no question right now that these look like bubbles. We'll see if I do something later to work against that, but at the moment, that's what they look like. I'm going to do a white splatter right now. Woo! I splattered myself, my glasses, my shirt, my jeans. That's why I'm wearing old paint clothes, of course. And I'm going to let it go with that for right now. Now, stay there. If you don't mind, I'm just going to set this aside real quickly. I'm not going to take it out to the sun. Let me grab the painting I started just a little while ago, where I have hot glue. Here's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to take the spray gesso and spray the hot glue. So then it doesn't look like hot glue. Now it looks like, I don't know, something solid, something white You know, the hot glue is transparent, right, when it dries, and it looks very much like hot glue. As I would say, we all know what that hot glue looks like. It looks clear. But now that I've painted it white, you really can't tell what it is. And I'm going to come back. I better let that dry now. And I'll come back in a little while and work on that part 3. Now while that's drying, let me pick up another one that I started a while ago. This one has a liquid mask, like a watercolor product. This a tool used in watercolor painting, which is a mask, and you remove it after doing some of the painting. Let's do green. I don't have a single really green painting going yet, so let's just get some of this on there. This is not going to, these lines I don't think are going to stay. I'm going to pick up a rag right now. I've got a number of damp rags all ready to go just for this purpose. And I've got a bungee cord back here that will help me hold down this painting. So I really don't like the canvas moving around when I'm trying to paint. Okay, I guess that'll do for now. Huh. That is funny. Welcome to the joy of discovery. I expected my rag to completely wipe out those lines, but as you could see, they didn't. Very interesting. So, always surprises. Happy little accidents all over the place. But while I'm at it, let me throw some light yellow on there. And then this time I'm going to rub it a little bit harder. Getting very much a chartreuse or spring green feel. I'm going to pick up a chrome green light. Let's get some more medium on the canvas here. Whoa. That's a pretty boring painting, isn't it? Solid green. Now I do have some thoughts about that. One thought was I could get my airbrush and go out in the yard and pull down some branches, leaves, and do some plain old-fashioned stenciling of real leaves. Does that sound like fun? Well, to do that, I'd have to leave you for a moment. Oh, what the heck? Okay, I'm gonna do it. Okay, so there I am, going out into the nature to find some leaves. Several different kinds. Okay, I'm going to get those in a minute, but I see over here some wonderful grapevines. Oh. Well, come to think of it, let's just go with the grape. Let's just go with the grape leaf motif. Grape leaf motif. Say that 3 times quickly. Okay, and then let me point you here to my airbrush station. I'm going to mix up a batch of green, dark green airbrush acrylic. This is some really good quality stuff here. I'm using it at a pretty, as you can see by the size of the bottle, it's not typically the kind of stuff you use by the gallon like I'm doing right now. Thin it out with some water. Turn on my compressor. I'm just using a real small compressor. I've got a big compressor out here in the garage, but it's very noisy, so as you can imagine, I don't want to use it while I'm broadcasting. Okay. And this is, by the way, for those of you who don't know, this is an airbrush. Iwata Micron, best airbrush made. And this is an Iwata, it's like halfway between a spray gun and an airbrush. So it's a medium size, medium small air gun, spray gun, or a giant size airbrush, whichever way you want to look at it. I'm going to move this camera so you can get a better angle. Let me see if I can get this. I'm setting you up on top of my table, the table that has all the junk on it. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. Forgive me for all this moving around. I'm going to use the front camera so I can see what you guys are seeing. There we go. Okay, is that all right? And I think we can zoom in just a little bit. Yes, there we go. Okay, I want you to be able to see this from a high angle, okay? Whoops. Dropped my paint off my paint gun. Let's make sure that's still spraying. By the way, I need to turn on a fan in here. If you don't mind, I'm going to do that right now. Forgive me. There's a fan right here, and it needs to be on because I'm getting too many fumes out here. Oh, there you go. You can hear that going already. Have I mentioned yet? I don't think I mentioned this episode that these paintings are all for sale. To buy them, you go to Facebook / Dan the Art Man. Okay. The paint is not supposed to fall off the spray gun. And it's not supposed to bounce far away. I might have to hold this. It's supposed to stay put. Okay. So, is this an abstract painting if I'm doing a stencil of grape leaves? That is a good question. Let me say, first of all, that there is such a thing, a category of image-oriented abstract paintings. That means it's not a picture of an image, but an image is used to produce the painting. Let me pick that up and see what that looks like. Wow, not bad. Not great, but not bad. And I'm thinking, if I take a string here, we are experimenting here. I don't know if you figured that out or not. If I take a string and lay it down something like that, can I then spray on top of that string and create the feeling of a stem? It looks like I can. Ooh! Woohoo! Can you see that? I sound happy, don't I? That's an artist being happy. A happy surprise. Like, wow, that works pretty well. Let me try it again. Of course, anything that's too fun, you have to be careful not to do too much of it, but I don't think I'm in quite at the too much range yet, so let me do it again. Having all kinds of trouble with the paint falling out of my brush, falling on my airbrush. And try cleaning the stem here, see if it sticks a little bit better. Okay, come on things, stay there, stay there. Now, if I decide to do something, I could pick up a small airbrush and do some plain old-fashioned, kind of like what I'm doing right now, but even greater detail. Plain old-fashioned airbrushing. Okay, time for some more stenciling, for sure. Let's see if I can do some of these small leaves. I'd love to do some of these small leaves down here. I think that just worked. Ooh, that worked very well. promise, these things normally stay put. Okay, and up here, some small stuff. Now the question is, am I going to do grapes, right? I don't know. I hope I haven't painted myself in the proverbial corner. Okay, I see all of this corner up here being dark. I've almost forgotten about the liquid mask that I started out putting on this canvas, which of course is not a canvas, it's a panel. So I hope you don't get upset if I keep calling it a canvas, because it's not a canvas. Okay, I'm at a point of indecision, so I'm going to leave well enough alone, put this canvas out to dry, and hope that all is well. Okay, that's a good place for me to pause. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back in just a few minutes. I'll be back on Facebook /Dan the Art Man. Thanks for watching.